I'm going to be reading all of the poems in my most recent book. I think there are 23 of them. Hey buddy, you can come here. You can come here. You want to get on the bed? You can go there. Well, that's okay. Okay, the book is called Unriddling the Symbolic Landscape, and it's a book of poems. So I'm just going to start. Unriddling the Symbolic Landscape by Maggie Hess. Fawn analysis. I woke up at dawn. Now I am here before the fawn. So fresh and new, his mother leads him through. I know they get to a stream. I can only dream. They perceive we threaten them, but surely this babe can't swim. Did his mom lie by the bank? Herd him close without a thank? I don't want to be a threat. I'd cup him in my hand, kiss his head, and pet him. I pray he is okay. His mother insists. His mother's instincts lead the way. He looked newborn, like his first steps had just been earned. I wonder about the symbols I find, what they mean outside my mind. Fawns are innocents of life. In my own symbol, I'm the knife of danger. Maybe it's about my own anger. I'm just going to explain a little. That was a poem about me. I went out and saw a fawn, and it was scared and its mother, and it ran down to a creek. And that was just my reaction. What does this all mean? Here's the next poem. Why do some people never find love? If I got one wish, would happy marriage be wasting it? Some people do not find love. What if fate does not want me to marry? Maybe wishing for others is better. Something like world peace is more important, has wider reach. If I use the wish for love, would that have to be granted? If I did the work of folding 1,000 cranes, and is that what I really want? I think love is what I really want, but I'm afraid to ask God. I think I want happy marriage. I could risk my doubts and try. Before the ocean makes her cry. My friend took her baby to a crowded shore. Her tot dove in and wanted more. I remember the world before the ocean made me cry, before I nose dove into the sand beneath, trying to body surf. Salt water dries swifter, and the shore breeze helps. I learned the water is scary and mighty. I learned to fear the undertow, but even after I was caught in a riptide alone, I made my way out and got up early the next morning because the tide had calmed overnight. I wanted nothing more than to swim in those waves again. Be in the pause you notice. Sometimes you want to do the next thing right after you did the previous thing. Again and again, over and over, until your feet just are moving without much notice. In these times, it might be hard to take a break, but that's exactly what you need. What a crow means. There was a time when I counted flocks of birds every morning, much more than now. On my walk, at least I noticed the crows. Sometimes I need a poem to unriddle the signs of nature, and when they flew near, I knew for me what this puzzle meant. I always seem to hear crows when I am waiting for something. This first sighted flock today told me to take time, be in the pause you notice. So they went over to Taylor Street, and I walked home intentionally slow. It's just a wrinkled leaf. But once I saw a bat on the path in the woods in the middle of the day, and my sister said, "Wait, don't touch it. It probably just fell from its tree. Let it be. It'll be all right." There are times I have felt like that, like the branch I was clinging to blew loose in the wind, like I landed rough and bumpy out of place. And though I could try to fly higher, like it is my instinct to stay curled in place for a while, to let my bones rest and my injuries get to feeling a little better. So what we do is sleep in these times. Sleep in the fetal position. Sleep in the leaf litter. Wherever we are. A foreign place to us. The wrong part of the forest. Somewhere with more danger around. But I think of all the people who, when they land from such a fall, they have no home to return to, or they're trapped somewhere in a prison or worse. All they can do is sleep and hope. You're okay, honey. But I got bit by a bee, love. Oops, I misspoke. The poem's called You're Okay, Honey. You got bit by a bee, love. See it on your foot? It is still there, and it hurts more because the stinger's in. Is it dying now? See? You stepped on it. And when it releases the stinger, it dies. But it will be okay too. It's okay to cry. But a bee that dies like this still has honor. And we have to think of it honorably. When we have to be brave for it, there I will try dry your tears. It's like the deer in the bow of Hiawatha. When the Indian American kills a deer for food, he thanks it for its life. Let me rub some plantain on it, dear. This is the plant that always seems available in the wild when a bee stings me, and it will make the hurt feelings stop. You're okay, Maggie. There. This is a poem called Mixed Prayers. One day I prayed the house across the street would be loved and cared for. Jesus answered my prayers. Took him 2 months to tear off the whole roof, remove the Christmas lights Duke had hung before his death in 2001. Remove Duke's old sofa. Only one person had sat on for 20 years. Remove particles of Duke, long since turned to dust. Remove mites and fleas from the cats that jumped inside the basement hatch. Cut through the chimney with his hatchet, where my swifts had nested, where my hope learned to rise with love, the new roof with no chimney. Another pine cone fell. Its seeds did not immediately grow, gigantic beneath the snow. It fell, made a small thump, then just lay in one place, waiting for someone to know its grace. Poems hold beauty in each word. The quietest poem will be heard, loud as any war. Stop the car. Sit by the stream. You might get hit by one. Political enemy. How do fireflies see my headlights? How does a little bird view the shoreline? Little zipper he follows, because from beakers fish rise. How does the fish see the trough beak of a gliding pelican, scooping up in a bucket, then back, black? And how does the night see the day? A strange friend and political opposite, unknown and unimagined, never touched, except 2 brief moments, at dusk and twilight, sunset and sunrise, when the light and the dark mingle and the world's spheres pull closer for such a fleeting short time. But noon will never know midnight. Noon will never reach out to midnight to comb her soft hair or invite him to dinner with no one else there. Noon and midnight are as distant as opposite ends. So they dream and envision and write poems imagining their counterpoint. He has a wild side. Maybe noon sees midnight as risky and loud, when in a peaceful place it's not true. Maybe midnight even sees noon as hot, when in a temperate winter noon can be icy. Fractal mind. Last night I woke from a meeting with yet another stranger. It has been so long since I had this sort of encounter. My inner interest was falling asleep, to be awakened only when body slept. I booked a ticket to meet him. He was such an interesting fellow. Lucky it was a refundable ticket. When I pasted the locust leaf to the cardboard, it became a swift. Stepping back, I saw the fractal again. All the world is a fractal. If you don't see it, position yourself further from the art. I am the man who fascinated me. I have been sleeping, boring myself with how I have lived. All I have to do is study fractals, and he's here. Was a little depressed. Sleep gobbled 10 more days, and I got up to eat and poop and walk my dog minimally. There are times when the things that make life worth living dissipates, almost gone. It was the second I wondered, worried, is something wrong with me? That I immediately found help. But life doesn't feel terrible with those times, honestly. It's a strange river I must float down to get to the soft bank where I earth and thrive. Why did I cry? When did I cry? The line, you may give them your love but not your thoughts, and the thought and though they are with you, they do not belong to you. Precious seed, it gives me so much joy to see you grown. There is something so tragic about life, even as early as a seed. I think I cried because I love Wilder so much, so fiercely. I don't even ever want to see him hurt. Hurt, this inevitable beautiful crack on the skin makes us hope, makes us grow. Happy notes on depression. Sometimes it's depression, but other times just rest. Sometimes I see that it's much needed rest. Other times I think I might be depression when actually it isn't. Change is a sleep pattern and is a symptom of depression. Drastically becomes present for me. I can spend 18 hours a day in bed, or just 9. That's twice as much when I'm resting. Feeling tired or lacking energy is another symptom depression can bring. But I can feel tired and it doesn't have to have adverse effects. I may feel I need to rest 18 hours, but otherwise I'm okay. Gift. How foolish to forget how rare all this is. Every chore is a blessing to be able to do. Breathing can seem like such a chore. Air strains to come through the nose sometimes. Instead of wondering why I must brush my teeth, instead of complaining as I walk my dog, instead of fighting resistance, I am grateful for this chance. Reading Lion. The life story of Saru Brierly, who was 5 when he got lost on a train, had to wait 25 years for Google Maps to be invented to find his way home, is a tale that seems uncommon. But I think it is such a good story partly because it resonates with so many, not just the many orphans of this world, but anyone who ever lost something or has been lost in it, or anyone that's ever found themselves looking for something to the point that their pursuit might make them go mad. I do not know why exactly. It's a strange, unique story, but I've felt it myself at times. Something that might be called passion. When what you want is out of reach, but you keep doing some compulsion to bring it closer, even if you never reach it, and you do not lose your mind, and you do lose your mind and hope, but that is not good. So speak its name again. Draw a vision of the infant you might receive. Infinity. Maybe I lost the best thing you ever gave me because I knew it was a metaphor. That infinity loop heart you carved for me of wood on my 10th birthday in the basement, sawdust flying. I said, Daddy, what you working on? And you turned off the drill. It's a secret, Maggie. Something for the person I love most in this whole world. My dad is 84 now, a withered frame of the fat lap I love to curl into. He said he loved me one time. It was all I needed. Those 3 words curved inside of themselves forever. And that's a poem for my father this Father's Day. Hope's bird. I've been wondering where the swifts are. But birds with three-dimensional movement mastery, do not hold attachment with any one patch of skyline. Maybe they're just over the tree line. Maybe they're further up in the street. Maybe they're on their way. But somehow I receive their message. We're okay. You'll see us when you need us. On their way. I feel they are close. The bird I love most, from chimney to skies, hope shines through my eyes. When will they come here? It vanishes fear to know they are coming, chittering, wings strumming. Swift Tonka. Displaced when their chimney was removed, will the swifts return to the different houses, chittering above the horizon, with a drifting trail of hope, eyes waiting to see them? Mother Goose. Mother's Day weekend, and I've flown the coop. Mom was good-natured about me meeting up with a man I've been seeing. But when I'm driving to the hotel and there's a tie-up in traffic, then I see what is causing the delay. A Canada goose carcass. A bloody disarray blocks the flow of traffic. And now, the worst image. A little tragically bewildered gosling scampers back and forth in the middle of the road. And I feel the grief, but have just to drive forward. I can't help it. And I can't help wondering if these visions are even real, or if they're just a metaphor sent by my mother, the importance of guilt. My speech as a role model. I want everyone to transform how they see themselves through knowing me. However you see me, whatever part of me you hold, I want you to see yourself in a new light because of how I behave. And hopefully you'll feel more brave, more able, more ready to seize the day and live each moment like it's nearly gone. Maybe you are obese like me, and you start dancing and feeling more comfortable in your movement. Maybe you get depressed and you're not longer afraid to say it. You aren't ashamed anymore. It's part of you, like tooth pain or allergies. You're not just one part. Maybe you see my creativity and it reminds you of how much you love reading or listening to music, and maybe you like painting but you don't think you're good, and suddenly you don't mind being awful because it's not what matters. That was not even part of what matters about my art after all. It's something different. Life is about something different. There is something about how you live your life that makes me proud. I pulled myself up again. And that has been a reading from Unriddling the Symbolic Landscape. Thank you all for watching. Okay, love you. Bye.